Hello and welcome to this edition of Eat Right with Rouses. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terraborn Home Care. Very glad you're joining us, however you may be joining us right here in beautiful Rouses. We appreciate it as we welcome in our favorite dietitian, April Sins. Hello, April.
Well, hello, Keith. How are you?
I am well. You know why?
Why?
I can feel the air changing.
Yeah.
And when it gets cooler, it is just perfect time for soup.
Yes. Anything less than 70 degrees, right?
Oh, no. Look, no, now that I've lost a little weight, it's 75. Anything
Okay.
less than 75.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I know. We celebrate cooler weather with soup often. A lot of times it's gumbos. And so what I want to tell you about is soup season. And I have a few things to tell you about. First, I want to debunk soup. So people think that oftentimes that you have to cook soup from scratch for it to be a healthier soup. I'm going to show you a few ways that you don't have to cook it from scratch, that you can use some different ingredients and put them together and make a soup. Okay. A lot of times people are concerned with soups with the sodium content. Right. And so I'm going to show you some different things that you can add without adding a bunch of sodium. But first I want to tell you about some ways that you can start the soup. Now, the first thing that I want you to think about when you think of soup is how can I add nutrition to the soup? Because that's where you can add some vegetables into the soup. You can add some really good protein sources. It could be a source of hydration as well. So the one thing I love to tell people is about whenever you buy those really good rotisserie chickens from Rouses, don't throw away the bones with the leftovers on it. Okay. Put that in a pot of water and boil it. Oh. You're going to create your own stock at home. Wow. It's already going to be seasoned because the chicken already has a seasoning. Right. You're going to be extracting some of that bone off of there. Right. So it's going to be like a bone broth. Right. And it has some of the meat in there and some of the fat. So you're creating a really, really flavorful broth. Right. Now, what you could do with that is you could freeze it if you want to use it later. Right. Or you can take it and make a soup with it as a base. Right away. So it's really, really great. Now, here's another thing, too. This will save you some money. Whenever you have your stalks of your celery, or when you cut those the top of the onion off and you have those leftovers, don't throw them away. Okay. Put them in a bag, in a Ziploc bag in your freezer, and freeze it. When you fill that bag up, you're going to do the same thing that I just told you to do with the chicken. You're going to put that in some water on the stove and boil it. You're going to be creating a veggie broth for your soup.
So now you have a chicken broth and a veggie broth.
It's so flavorful.
Stock for both.
It's stock. Yes, you're creating your own stock. Now, you can always go to Rouses and grab some stock. I always say, get the one that's lower in sodium, so that way you're not adding all the sodium. But those are two ways that you can create some stocks at home just from leftover things that you're buying at Rouses. And then the other thing is we can also get some ready-to-eat broths. So there's something called Kettle and Fire that's on the shelf. It actually has, I want to say, around 19 grams of protein in it. So a lot of people are looking for some protein sources. So that one is a bone broth. There's Zoop that is a gluten-free and no preservative broth as well. Then there's something called Epic Bone Broth. So there's some different broths that you can get at Rouses that are sort of like those specialty types. And then there's also some ready-to-eat soups. Okay. There's a brand new soup called Rayo's soup. That's normally you'd see it in the pasta sauce, and you might see like a pizza with the Rayo's. Yeah, they're now making the soup. And so I haven't tried it yet, but I've heard some really good things about it, and I'm anxious to try that one. And then there's Amy's Soups, which is an organic soup as well. Now, let's talk about how we could take some of those soups. Like, let's say you already have some soup in your pantry, and you're like, okay, some canned soup. Okay. And you're like, okay, I don't want to throw this away.
It's a little boring. I want to do a little more.
So whenever you turn that label around, it's probably going to have a higher amount of sodium on it. A lot of times our canned soups do have some sodium in there.
For preservatives.
But what we're going to do is we're going to add something to those soups to where we are making that sodium less concentrated. So think about things that don't have sodium that you can add to it. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to show you is adding some steamed vegetables. So take your steamable vegetables. It could be the steam in the bag, or you can grab some fresh vegetables and steam them at home, even in the microwave if that's convenient for you. And add some steamed vegetables to the soup. You can actually add some more liquid to the soup too to make more volume. So what you're doing is you're taking that concentrated soup and you're stretching it out to where, so you're doing some math because you're dividing down that sodium that's already in it.
And you're feeding more people.
And you're feeding more people. It is, yes. And so another idea is roasted vegetables.
Okay.
Roasting vegetables gives it kind of like a little bit of that char where it sits on the pan and roasts. That tastes really good in a soup. How about a roasted vegetable soup? Doesn't that sound good? Fresh kale or fresh spinach is also something that you can add some greens in there.
Yep.
How can we get more vegetables into our daily routine?
And it'll soak up some of that sodium.
And yeah, it's going to stretch it out too.
Yeah.
It's going to make a bigger volume. And then also roasted sweet potatoes. Make sure that you're cooking those before, and then that way they don't have to cook as long as the soup. Some cooked brown rice. That's going to add some fiber and nutrition in there. There's a lot of nutrition in brown rice. And then also canned beans. So if you have the canned beans, you can rinse them and drain them, and that's going to take some of that sodium out. Lentils cook really fast in a hot broth. So you can take the dry lentils, put it in the soup, and boil that with the soup. But what it boils down
there
to
we go.
is that you can there's a lot of ways that you can make this soup more nutritious by adding some vegetables to it, and think about how can you add that nutrition to it.
Well, we started with lots of options that we can create, some great options for having a base already and using the soup that's already in the pantry.
There's something for everyone.
Really are. Great soup options. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
You got it. All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular edition of Eat Right with Rouses. But don't go anywhere. We've got a whole lot more right here on HTV.